On his final day to hunt, Aaron Warbitton heads back on public land, hoping to fulfill his goal of harvesting a deer with his late grandfather's muzzleloader.
I'm back in here at the public land river unit this morning. I've had some pretty bad luck over the last week and a half or so. Went out again last night. Didn't see much, but Greg came over here to a spot that he's been scouting this year and saw 10 or 12 deer. Most of the deer that he saw, he was sort of observing from a distance back here to the south of this stand. Most of them that he saw walked right up underneath of this thing. But it's super cold. It was -3 when we left town this morning. I don't know if we're smart or stupid, but we're here. Either way. Snow's on. It's really cool looking in this spot. Greg's got his muzzleloader up in his stand with him, and I got the musket with me. This is my first morning sit of the late season. The food sources in the evenings just haven't been paying off for us. Seems like all the deer been pressured pretty hard through the first 2 shotgun seasons, and they just will not feed during daylight because that's where most of the hunting pressure's been. And Greg was hunting this bedding area last night and saw lots of deer activity. Seems to be the tactic that works best for us on public is hunting the bedding, even in late season. So I'm sure about 8 o'clock we're going to be popsicles up here. So we've got a plan in place to bring Zach out just a little bit after daylight. What he's going to do is head up towards the north end of this bedding area and ease his way towards the stand. Lots of bedding cover that way for almost a half a mile. The plan is for him to wind bump those deer right down here in front of us because the wind's out of the north. It's coming from out of that bedding area. If he goes clear up around it, his scent will be blowing down through there, and then hopefully those deer, as they're escaping that bedding area, walk right down in front of this stand.
That.
About 8:45, and Greg and I are officially frozen. We almost killed a doe. About 30 minutes ago she came in. I got the hammer cocked back on my gun, and my hands just about froze while I was waiting on her, because this gun is just a block of ice right now. But she ran through the opening and I tried to stop her, and she's covered up with too much brush to take a shot, so missed an opportunity there. But it's approaching 9 o'clock now, and Zach should be working his way down through these woods any minute. We haven't seen anything yet, but I know he was going to come out about 8:39 and walk these woods to the north of us back to us. Just real easy trying to wind bump those deer towards our stand. But we think it'll work. There seems to be plenty of deer up in these cedars. We'll just have to wait and see. Greg, right here. Coming down the hill. Here they come. They're gonna come right through the opening. Okay, I'm on them. Lead doe. Ready? Yeah. Bet. Got her. There she goes. She's going right up on that hill. She's down. She's down right there. Oh. We got her, man. We just musket punched a doe. Yes. Great big doe, too. She walked right down through the opening. Just how Greg hung the stand for. Yes. And the gun went off. Oh my gosh. That's awesome, man. Thanks so much. I've been struggling really hard this late season. Just wanting to get a deer with this muzzleloader. This was my grandpa's gun. And he passed away about a year and a half ago now. And finally got a good, close, ethical chance at one. And that's really all I wanted. The first deer that was going to give me a good opportunity at close range, I was going to take it. Didn't care if it was a buck, doe, whatever. And that's exactly what we were waiting for right there. Good close range shot at one. Is that Zach? Hey dude, what's up? Yeah, we just musket punched one. Yeah, didn't drop her, but I think I hit her right in the heart. She ran like 40 yards and piled up. Yeah, it's awesome. Come on down here whenever. We'll see you here shortly. I'm freezing. We've talked about it a lot, but hunting is fun however you make it. And during this late season, it was all about just getting an opportunity. It wasn't about hunting a mature buck or a big antlered buck or a specific buck. It was just about getting a good close range opportunity on public land. And it's been tough. I mean, I've been trying to kill one off the ground, tried a few different tactics along the way, and finally worked out this morning. This was also, Greg and I, before we came out today, we said this was going to be our last hunt of the year. Might have been our last hunt ever if we'd have sat in this tree stand any longer. But it worked out perfect, man. That is so cool. I've never been this excited to kill a doe in my life, other than the first one I ever killed. Musket punch. Got her.
I've been using the Muddy Outfitter stand for the majority of my hunting because it is big and rock solid. The seat and platform angles are adjustable, so it works well on just about any tree I come across, and it locks super solid in place.
Several years ago, Hoyt completely changed the way we looked at bows when they introduced their first carbon model. Their lightweight carbon design reduces vibration and feels much warmer to the touch in a cold stand. Hoyt is still making carbon bows and improving on the design every year. In fact, their Carbon Defiant is their best carbon bow to date.
When hunting public land, most of the time we're hunting in thick cover close to bedding areas. To be prepared for any shot, I use the Cybex multi-pin sight. This allows me to draw and shoot when the action's fast in any situation, and I can trust that the sight is going to withstand any of the punishment that I put it through.
We aren't biologists, but some of the top names in the business swear by the more than 65 minerals found in the trophy rock. It contains not only the macronutrients that you find in other products, but all the micronutrients needed in proper balance for a healthy herd.
Alright. Look at that. Big old doe. That's awesome. That is so cool. Good deal.
I figured it would work eventually. I was just worried based off your track record if you were gonna strike or not.
I was pretty worried myself.
after that first one come through there and we kind of botched that, it's like, well, if he pushes one through, what's it going to do? Is it going to come right down here 15 yards? Like right before I pulled the trigger, I was like, well, here goes nothing. I didn't even know if it was going to go off.
Oh, shoot. I heard the gun go and
I did not know it was going to go off. I had my doubts because I mean there was like ice building up all over the gun. It was like
your hands, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was just like a cube, you know. Like this up here was just covered like a film of ice all the way down around
Did you shoot without gloves on?
No, I ended up shooting with the glove on. You know, and what I had to do since they're so fat, I had to like look down and look up at the deer and then put it through there like that to make sure that I didn't pull the trigger, and then I had to cock it. I was so surprised when I pulled the trigger and it went
I was
off.
surprised when I heard it go off a little bit. Well, good deal, man.
Yeah, man.
That was fun.
Sweet. Thanks for walking around.
No problem.
Being a woods guy for a day.
Been dying to do it.
Well, this is the end of a great season for us out here on public land. I bought a muzzleloader tag a few weeks ago and decided to take the old Musket out. Finally it worked, and our plan was actually pretty cool. And Greg and Zach were talking last night and came to the conclusion that Zach should come in and try to wind bump this bedding area to us about 8 o'clock. And Zach started pushing down through those woods just real lightly, letting his scent drift into that bedding area. That way he didn't just blow the deer out of there and cause him just to run right past our stand. And it worked out perfect. That's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And these deer were coming through pretty relaxed. They were just leaving the bedding area, walking slowly out of there, occasionally, you know, sniffing the wind, because I'm sure they caught some of his scent. And she came right through and offered just a perfect shot. But I think it's cool how much fun that we've had out here on public land this year. We're not picky as a group of hunters. We just we like being out in the woods whenever we get the chance to get out here. We take it, and I doubt that anybody likes being out in the woods more than we do. That's one reason why we love hunting the public land, is because we can come out and explore and see something new just about every day, learn deer in different habitats and locations. And to me, this is really what hunting is all about. Everybody anymore has got such a focus on killing mature bucks, and that's good, but sometimes it forces us to be a little too competitive. And working together out here this year has been the most fun that I've had in the deer woods. Just being out here with my buddies, learning new areas together, and eventually able to harvest several bucks together throughout the year. I mean, this isn't even quote unquote my spot in here. Greg's the one that found this location earlier in the season, and that's just how it works for us out here on public. Whenever somebody's onto some deer, we try to get people into those locations that have got tags, and it has worked well for us all season long. Today was no different. Whenever she came in and gave me a shot this morning, I mean, I was more excited in that tree today than I was when I shot that buck with Sean back in October. My heart was pounding out of my chest. She came right through and gave me a perfect shot. And luckily the muzzleloader went off and she just went about 30 yards and piled up. But now the work begins, and I'm glad I got Zach and Greg here to help me. Redneck blinds allow me to hunt more comfortably on cold days, and that means I hunt longer. That is one important key to success. You have to be out there if you hope to fill tags. Controlling the depth of your seeds is important to ensuring good germination and a solid stand of plants. The RTP Genesis has adjustable packing wheels that regulate the depth at which the seeds are placed in the ground. We've had very good success with the Ozonics units in tree stands, but they are almost foolproof in ground blinds. By placing the unit over the open window, we basically create a curtain of ozone that destroys nearly all odor that would otherwise leave the blind.
While hunting public land, we hunt several different units with varying types of vegetation. We hunt anything from open grasslands to big timber, and our camo pattern of choice is Realtree Extra. We've had success staying concealed on the ground and in a tree stand. Frigid Forage Plowdown Clover is one of the most revolutionary products they sell.
You ideally frost seed this blend of fast-growing clovers during the winter and then mow it down and till it under when preparing to plant Big and Beastie the next summer. The clover provides much-needed forage for the deer during the summer and much-needed nitrogen for the Big and Beastie once you plow it down. Later that afternoon, Scott Prucha and his nephew Carson head to a redneck blind on a soybean plot where Scott has been getting daylight photos of a big 10-pointer.
Well, it's January 6th, and we're getting ready to head out for our afternoon hunt here, late season. Pulled this camera 2 days ago, and that big 9 with the sticker, and a buck we call Checkmark. I'm saying Checkmark is off limits. He's really a cool-looking deer. Probably over 150, but he's really young. I think he's a 3-year-old at best. So he's going to get a pass, but both of those deer were within, gosh, I don't know, 30 yards of the redneck that we're going to slip into out here. So we're out here pretty early today. It's before 2 o'clock yet. So we're going to walk through this CRP field and slip into the blind, and hopefully we have some action tonight. If that big 9 comes within bow range, we might be launching arrows tonight. So. Well, we got out to the redneck blind here. We'll see what happens here tonight. We pulled a camera. There's a camera right in front of the blind that shoots down the beans. And that buck Checkmark was in here a couple nights ago right in front of the blind. This big wide 9 though, I think he's 4. He gets in bow range tonight. He might be in trouble. So it's really only about 40 yards straight across these beans from me to the little finger of trees. Hopefully we have some action. We've got a doe tag too. We've got a turkey tag. The turkeys come through here quite often as well. We never got above 10 degrees today. So we know the deer have been using this, and with these cold temps, we hope they're back tonight. We'll see what happens. discouraged. We weren't seeing anything. I mean, the one deer came out and I thought it was a buck we called checkmark. And I looked and it wasn't for sure. It was just this tan with big sweeping beams and his ends came up real clean, big tan. So it was hard to judge age, but I'm guessing it's a 4-year-old. And here we are, what is it, January 6th, like running out of time. And I did it with the bow. It's awesome. Oh yeah, full metal jacket did his job. Let's go see that deer. Look at that, that's a nice deer right there. Well, here he is. This is a buck. I'm not even sure what deer this is. So it made it hard to figure out how old he was and stuff, and we were losing light. We had about 15 minutes left illegal, but we were losing camera light quick. And I don't know, he presented a shot that was 33 yards, but perfect hard shot. The story on this guy though is food. I mean, that's the only reason we killed. They were back recharging after the rut. Yeah, it's been a tough late season as my dad came down for hunting for 8 days straight, and we just could not get on a deer, and they're finally starting to hit this food. I had a lot of fun hunting with my dad. It was great having Carson down on this trip too, so I appreciate those guys making a long trip to come down and help. And I'm sure happy Carson could be in the blind with me tonight, running the camera when the Hoyt took this guy down. So an awesome end to a long season.
The Muddy ProCam 12 is one of the best trail camera values. It boasts top features at a reasonable price. With its fast trigger speed and time-lapse capability, it will work almost anywhere. Their ProCam 10 is even more affordable, but with its slower trigger time, it works best over a baited sight. There is a Muddy camera for any budget and any situation. Small diameter arrows like Easton's FMJ series make sense for many reasons. They penetrate very well and drift less in a crosswind. The FMJ is also the perfect weight for whitetail hunting.
Our Cabela's deluxe game cart gets put through plenty of abuse out on the public land. This past year, we used it to retrieve multiple bucks from the field in some very hard to reach areas. Plowing through brush, water, any kind of obstructions, it just would not be possible to get these deer out of the woods without the help of this cart. It's been extremely durable and is a must-have for any serious whitetail hunter.
Small diameter arrows like Easton's FMJ series make sense for many reasons. They penetrate very well and drift less in a crosswind. The FMJ is also the perfect weight for whitetail hunting.
It was literally just a few seconds and there was the shot.
Just a cool old deer. He's a buck that we got a lot of history with, and like I said, the 2016 season was possibly our best ever. October was unusually good as we tagged some of our best bucks during the weeks before the rut.
Look at the mass on this dude. He is a stud.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What just happened right there?
Oh my, that's awesome.
And November was as good as we had dreamed it would be.
I can't believe that just happened.
That's it. It's over.
Close.
Even the late season delivered incredible big buck action.
Words can't describe this.
This season is over. Now we begin a new season, a new quest. Hit the reset button. Starting tomorrow, we will once again be chasing November.